1st, 2017. You are watching MMAjunkie Radio live from Mandalay Bay in the Sportsbook. If you ever been in town and haven't visited us, we're going to get upset because it's a very fun time. You can sit down. We have headphones here for you to listen to the show. Sometimes we have in-studio guests that you could talk to, take pictures with. The big screens are facing directly at our studio, so you can even watch a little sports center. It's a good time. Should make your way out here.
Don't forget to get the other headphones when you get a chance.
Oh, yeah, in the garage.
Because we only have one. I guess we can just. I brought in those old ones from the Tag Radio setup, and that's like the ones that are have lasted. So I'm sure there's 2 more, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Gonna get things started off here in about a minute.
Yeah.
We have 0 guests. So if you're into guests or interviews, buzz off.
Beat it, nerd.
That's what it boils down to. If you want to hear us discuss the latest news,
Which there is a lot
continue
of.
to talk about the MMA Junkie gathering, because so much stuff is trickling in from that. Cool pics, stories. You know, we weren't with each other for 5 days straight. Like, there were times where a few of us didn't see each other for a few days because people would break off into groups and do their own thing.
Coming up.
So now comparing stories and recapping things, pretty cool. But the pictures obviously do the best. Kendra and Mike leading the way there. I noticed Kendra on Facebook posted a lot. I couldn't even get through them all. I was sitting there for 5 minutes and I'm going through these pretty quick. And then I finally told myself, well, why am I rushing? I'll just do this when I have time and I can kick back and
Coming up at 10.
and check out pics.
Stand by.
All right, we're gonna start the show.
That's why we stand by.
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMA Junkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is gonna be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMA Junkie Radio with gorgeous George and Goze. This is what we doing while we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yeah!
The MMA Junkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communications stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMA Junkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMA Junkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMA Junkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goze.
From the fight capital of the world, inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Racing Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMA Junkie Radio Show, the only show that matters. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Goze, or his co-host. Back east, handling all the producing duties, it's going to be Danny. What's up, guys?
What's up? I have a dilemma. It's bugging me.
Me too.
It's bugging me because I can't remember what it is. So I could either bring you into it and you may be able to solve it,
Bring me into
or
it.
it's going to bug you too.
Oh, no.
So I don't know what to do here.
It's going to bug me also, or it's going to bug me too, as in me and Danny?
Well, I don't know if Danny's seen this movie, so I would say more you.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you remember the movie with Tom Cruise where he's a race car driver? What was that called?
Talladega Night? No.
Days of Thunder.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Danny.
Days of
So
Thunder.
much better.
His name was Cole
Cole
Trickle.
Yeah. I just saw Russ Wheeler up on the thing. That's why I was.
What's Russ Wheeler?
He was the guy that he would race against.
Oh, okay. I only saw parts of it. I like NASCAR enough that I would go watch that movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it was in the theaters, but or go to Netflix or whatever. A lot of people hate on Tom Cruise, and I think most of it's just linked because of Scientology. But I've actually enjoyed his movies over the years.
He makes
So
good
that's
movies.
why I would do it. He's a bit of a bizarre individual, but I mean, come on. He's getting paid to act, to do cool movies.
What do we care? We don't hang out with
Bang
him.
hot broads. So I tip my hat. Bravo, Tom Cruise.
What's bugging you?
So, as I stated since last week, and I'm really behind on Facebook messages and texts. So I got to say, I do miss Jason B. from the Couve.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't even been able to reply to a text that he sent. Basically, he slipped out of town, and we weren't able to say our goodbyes, do the hugs and all that. But we did have a nice chat after Friday's show, which was his last show. And so I feel like, we did have, I guess, a little bit of closure, and I know we'll keep in touch. But there was a nice text from Mike. I am not sure if I caught that one either or replied to it. So that's been bugging me. But no, what I'm saying is last week I shared with Junkie Nation and even yesterday that I'm going to New York tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a red eye.
Oh, you missed the finals.
Of
Basketball.
basketball? Oh,
NBA.
well, it's a late flight. It's like 10:17 it takes off.
Oh, you might
It
still
starts
catch
at
the end.
6, so yeah, I'll catch it. It's just, am I going through a security line or am I, already at the gate?
Mhm.
But I will catch it.
That's going to be fun.
Unless it goes into some triple overtime or something like that. But I'll catch it. Cleveland money line, by the way. Anyway, so I get there. I went a day early because, A, stuff's been happening lately with flights.
Mm-hmm.
And I also wanted to go to the bar one day early and just scan it and make sure, like, okay, so I'm going to be here, I'm going to be there. Because, like, I'm basically hosting with the UFC legend is what I was told. I don't even have the UFC legend's name. I would love to say, come join George and so-and-so. But I have a feeling who it is, but I don't want to, like, throw it out because that's the info we were going to be given by the other party. And when I was first told about it, I heard it might be a VIP party, something like that, something along those lines. That's why Darius, Christian, Steve Carroll, my New York junkies, along with any junkies that are listening from that area, the Tri-Star area, anybody that wants to watch UFC 212, I have limited info. Now, on the one hand, I started going on the website and scanning things and checking things out, and it looks like there's an RSVP method, but then it also has a caveat that says, that doesn't guarantee you'll get in,
Ooh.
Right, and so then I'd hate for someone to come in and it's sold out, like, can you get a ticket now? Is it sold out? I guess just I need the details.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to sell this puppy out and have a blast. Hopefully they'll have us back.
But it sounds like it's
And I'm trying. I really
like it
am.
is just a VIP thing.
And this shouldn't be one of those where, like, I put out anyone's business. I'm not trying to do that. You asked what my frustration. That really is a frustration because, again, I want to knock it out of the park. Danny's another one. Danny's got tentative plans, but otherwise he'll join me. At least on some of the day. Olkers. Olkers.
Hey, we both wanted to know why you do that. We think it's funny and we're on board.
You know
but
what
we
it sounds
just don't
like?
know why you
I'm
do
His
it.
for it.
last
I'm
name
for it.
sounds like something Roscoe Pete Coltrane would say.
Oh,
Olkers just sounds southernish. Olkers.
okay.
Right. There you go. And so that's why I say it that way, and then I try and be a little southern, I guess.
We laugh every time we do. We just don't know why it's funny, but it's
It
funny.
just sounds like, I don't know. It sounds southern to me.
All right.
Yeah. So, there's a chance I may be able to get this info during the show and share it and have you all come out and hang out and watch UFC 212. Because that really is, Goze, there's no way around it. Aldo and Holloway is going to be an amazing fight.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, anything that has Aldo attached to it and Holloway, obviously great fighters. But you would think McGregor Aldo would have been great too, right? And then it ended
Well, we
in
got
9 seconds.
it was a memorable finish. You're
Yeah.
right. It wasn't because someone clipped the other guy, and that could happen here. But Aldo, this kid is young. He puts a lot of pressure. He carries a high pace. He's confident. He's not scared. A lot of people went into the Aldo matches thinking, wow, I need to be on my best, and him at his worst. And I think Holloway feels, at my best, I'll take his best.
Do you think he's underestimating Holloway? Because he look
No,
extraordinarily chill this week?
he does.
Like more so than other weeks,
Well,
right?
here it is.
Now in the past he's had like Connor trying to piss him off. Frankie.
The Connor fight woke him up. Like, oh, I can lose, which he had lost once before, but then he peeled off 20 straight. But I think if you listen to him, and it's probably the mindset, he's just saying that was a miracle. He'll tell you probably if he were to fight Connor 100 times, he'd win 99 or 9 out of 10 or whatever. I think he feels like that was a miracle. He doesn't even say, not to say that if he had not connected and the fight played out, he may have still won. No, he feels like that was a miracle. He's gone to 55. I'm the 45 champ. Now, either he's great at selling it, like he's conditioned himself, or he really feels that way. But obviously, it happened, so he knows anything can happen. But then to come back and steamroll Frankie Edgar, I think he got his swagger back. Some people take years to get it back, a certain amount of fights to get it back. Mm-hmm. He got it all back in one fight. And he got it all back in 6-7 months. Now, it's been a year since then, but
Brazilians have this way about them where when they lose, sometimes it's, he's normal. Where you want them to be enraged and just fired up. Mm-hmm. So I can't tell if he's underestimating him, if he just doesn't care, if he's just that chill, like an assassin. I don't know. But I've been kind of watching his demeanor, and it's been tripping me out.
Even if it goes 25, I think Max will have, every time he comes off that stool, he'll have chances to win because he hits hard. Cumulative damage. He doesn't have one punch power like a lot of others do, but if he hits you with his punch, it hurts. And the same goes for Aldo. But I think both of these guys will basically dissect you. So I'm anticipating one hell of a main event. Now, with Carolina and Claudia, if it were to go 5 rounds, I actually would have turned in my slip, Carolina. But 3 rounds, Claudia's pretty tough to beat. Even Joanna Jay would tell you that. Mm-hmm. She's very strong, very, very strong. She'll, slam you. She'll punch you. She'll kick you. She's a lot to deal with. A phenomenal athlete. And I'm not sure Carolina can deal with that for the 15 minutes. So Carolina has to, A, turn things on quickly, take the fight to her, because as I see it, it'll probably go to a decision. It'll probably be Claudia Claudia, I guess she went about it the wrong way, man. At some point, I think it's over, right?
I don't know, man.
Was
There's
what
so many bad
Joanna did
things.
that bad? In fact, I don't even remember what the hell did she do that pissed
Man,
Claudia off
they
that
said
much?
so many bad things to each other that. I mean, look at like Ollie and Frazier. They were never able to put that aside. They hated each other till the end. You can get Duran and Leonard in the same room and they're okay. Even Hagler and Leonard just recently are okay being in the same room. It's just a different level.
Well, but at least on one side, someone's sticking their hand out. Hey, Claudia, I respect you, this, that, whatever. And the other one wanted nothing to do with it. But so to continue to answer your question, though, we're also in the division that I guess is very top heavy, like the stars of the stars. And then the other ones seem to peck each other off a lot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And just when someone's starting to rise, and you're like, hey, put your chips
Like
behind
the
Alexa
heavyweight
Grasso. She's undefeated. She's good looking. She's from Mexico. English, Spanish, everything. She loses. Oh, all right. Takes a hit. You know what I mean? All right. Let's get behind this one. She loses. Okay. And so right now it seems to be pretty top heavy. They're recycling the top. So we'll see. A third one is tough. And then when she goes to Dana's going to say, did you hear what I told Joseph?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when Tito wanted a third shot at
But
Chuck?
that's my question.
So he goes, so I have a precedent to
different?
deal with? Yeah, every case is different.
I think what does a disservice to Joseph a little bit is there's
I know
no
what.
heat.
She's not getting one off a win here.
No, yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if in her mindset, if she's controlling the fight, is she thinking, man, I got to get a finish because I need to get back to that championship fight? Or is she thinking, man, what's the point? I'm just going to fight safe. I just need to rack up a lot of wins to even get back
A
there.
finish would be nice. And how about this? A finish, talk some trash. Poland, I'm coming after you. I heard we're going to Poland. I just kicked a Polish girl's ass in Brazil. I want to kiss a Polish or kick a Polish girl's ass in Poland. Like something like that backs Joanna into a corner. What, did you just come at my country? As far as like me fighting there and representing, so it's going to have to be a little like grimy and get dirty. But again, if you want to, I guess, jump to the front of the queue, then you're going to have to do that because you're 0-2 against the champ. And it just happened recently enough that we say we just did it. So I think she has more wins ahead of her. And by then, Joanna might go to 25. I don't know how much of a struggle 15 is, but she may go to 25. The thing about females we all forget is a lot of them, I'd say at least 50, 75%, are thinking about being mothers one day and their health. So, the weight cut, the weight cutting that we hear, these extremes, like we always hear, well, it's not good for your kidneys, your internal organs. Well, girl stuff, what's happening down there, down in the Bermuda Triangle. I'm sure there's stuff that is interlinked. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, I imagine at some point, like she probably would want to do that as a safety precaution for her health, possibly having kids one day. So, and I don't know if Claudia will want to go up. Although Claudia looks pretty jacked herself, so maybe she would follow her there, or maybe it would be her time. A lot of people say, no, I would chase the belt, not the person. So it could be that if Joanna goes up, she'd go, whew, don't have to deal with her again. I still want to chase the belt. Or it could be like she's obsessed. And I think she's obsessed, or not obsessed, but I think she would want to beat Joanna at some point.
Well, because she was so close, right? Even in that round 3,
she won the first two,
she would have racked that round 3, and she was already winning it up until the very end. But you're right. She's very jacked for that weight class. So for her to even go up more in weight, she'd have to get even bigger. And I think
but there wouldn't be the struggle of losing weight, so you may have a fresh fighter.
Maybe, yeah.
Fighters that cut weight,
fighters
that cut weight, especially the ones that cut, they say they're on their deathbed. A few of them need. Did you read the story recently with Anthony Pettis? Who was it? Elbow fighting? Was it us? There was a story out there where he said, let me think here. It was the fight where he elected not to make weight. Was that Oliveira?
It was by like 2 pounds or something like that, right? It wasn't a big number.
Yeah, but it bothers me that we don't know.
What did he say?
He said he elected to just pay the fine, but at the point he shut it off, he needed to ingest water just to walk down to make weight. That's how bad this thing is. So a happy Claudia, a happy anybody, they may be closer to 100% on Saturday. Anthony Pettis, he ingested some water. He got down. He made the scale.
Holloway.
He posed. Holloway. You're right. He posed, and that's why only Holloway was available or eligible for interim.
I hate that.
Well, he
I mean,
didn't
it
make
makes
weight.
sense, but yeah, it's just such a foolish thing to be promoting for so long, and
I
then
know.
it doesn't make sense.
But he did say there's no way I could pull out because we were the main event, so so much was at stake. I respect that. He didn't make weight. He made it one other time, but this time he didn't make it. And so he said he had to take water just to be able to walk to get down there to weigh in. Then he weighed in. He paid the fine. So now he had, what is it, about 36 hours? Yeah, it is about 36 hours to rehydrate. How close was he to 100%? How close are other fighters to 100%? Some of them got this dialed in, even the ones that lose a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really wondering how close you are back to 100%.
I don't think you're even remotely close.
Even the ones that have it?
I think people consider being able to walk around being back to 100%. What you and I do, being able to go wherever we need to go, think the way we need to think. But being an athlete and being able to function and react the way you need to react, I don't think you can get back to normal that fast like that. Think about what you're going to put your body through the next day again.
And they do, but they do it well.
Some of them.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So whatever that percentage is, Claudia now at 25, it could be she's closer to 100% or or 100% rather than the cut to 15. Yeah, I'm bigger. Yeah, I'm stronger, but I only made it back to 95. And her 95 may have not been enough against Joanna's 98 or her 100. Okay. It's a game of inches. You know what? So it could be that she decides to go up as well. Who knows? 866-522-2846. Do you think Claudia Gadelha should get a shot at Joanna Jędrzejczyk? I don't believe so. I think we have a quality opponent in Rose
I would say
Namajunas.
at least three fights.
But I think she needs this one and at least, yeah, I'm with you. This one and 2 more. You want this one and 3 more?
2 more.
2 more, yeah. I think I'm with you there. Because this one and 1 more still puts us at early 2018. And I just think, God, it'll get that feeling of, didn't we just do this?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm with you.
It kind of reminds me, like, not that many people remember the first time they fought. Kind of like Ronda and Misha, where it didn't feel like they had fought that many times because you didn't remember. Not a lot of people watched Strikeforce. So it doesn't feel like it's been beat over and over and over. Maybe Tough felt like the first fight, and then the actual fight felt like the second fight more than the first fight and the second fight.
How about how complicated things get with Aldo and Holloway? The featherweight division with players like those two, Frankie Edgar.
That's where it gets difficult. Cub Swanson. What do you do with him?
I would think that everyone is praying that Holloway wins.
Well, Frankie
unless
for
you
sure.
haven't fought Aldo. If you haven't fought Aldo and you're up there, then you want that to continue. If Holloway wins, here's the scary thing. Because as much as you're like, freshen up the division, he kicked all our asses. Freshen up the division, he kicked all our asses. If they do it and it's a classic, Dana White may go, we're running it back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you have a champion that defended for so long, and if it's a classic, we may have to run it back.
What would you think?
So that's the scary part. But if it's dominant, if it's Conor-esque, or just one guy 150-45, not one guy, but Holloway 150-45, or just Jose was an asshole all week, I don't know. And he says, time to stick it to him, no immediate rematch. Then I would say Edgar's already there, bring him in. No disrespect to Lama, Swanson, anybody else. But if it's Aldo again, that's the question. Where do we go? I'd like to answer that when we come back. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Stay close.
Nope. Yep.
Okay, I'm just.
You know that scene in Star Wars where Darth Vader tells Luke he's his father? What if I walked in right after with my voice and was like, I'm your Uncle Walter. Can I get a lift home? That'd be crazy, right? Anyway, here are George and Goze.
OTAs are going around the NFL, and SiriusXM NFL Radio has you covered. As the offseason programs in the NFL have begun, stay tuned for reports and analysis from every team as they finally get their free agent signings, returning vets, and rookies on the field for the first time. The only place to hear 24/7 coverage of the National Football League is SiriusXM NFL Radio, Channel 88, and on the SiriusXM app. Let's turn to the phone lines here. Got a couple numbskulls on hold. They go by the names of Marco from Waco, brother, and Darius from Poland.
Why is he's leading off all of a sudden? Wasn't
What's
it
up, Marco?
Pettis' thing?
How you doing?
Marco from Waco Road. Yeah, I'm playing lead off. Come on, man.
You got promoted?
Somebody has to take the spot.
Yeah, Mike from Jersey, he was doing it for a while, and then Proteus was doing it for a while, and you know, we need a man on board, and these guys are starting to strike out, infield pop-ups, stuff like that. So Marco's been getting on base, he's stealing second, and all we need is for the rest of the guys to just, you know, sacrifice, get a couple of hits, and boom, we have 2 on the board.
Yeah, you need a superstar as your lead-off anyway. Hey, 2 quick questions for you, man. First of all, I like that angle of Claudia Gadelia calling Joanna and going to Poland, but I wonder, and a little bit of the hood here, can't the UFC pull off a KFW just pull off last week and fill up a stadium with 55,000 people with Joanna as a headliner?
Yeah,
I would imagine.
I'm just wondering, you know.
Yeah, I think they could.
That could be the play.
If anyone can do it, if anyone can do anything, the UFC can do one better. Put it that way. I'm convinced of that. I know my man John Morgan said they are the UFC in Poland, and I'm sure they are. But the UFC is pretty global now with all their TV contracts. And come on, all these young ladies and a couple fellas are winning, and they're coming home. I'm sure that gets coverage. So there is a buzz, you know, especially when they do their announcements and then they send the fighters out and they do press. By the time it comes, you just do it. You know, you know that you got to buy that ticket. What's that?
If you heard Dana White and what he was talking about Mayweather, it should be a 50-50 split. Sorry, player. It ain't going to work that way.
No?
No.
All right, how
but
about
you're
this?
right. In MMA, they can one up.
There's Antonio. How about this? If Mayweather wants $100 million and they're gonna make 240, 50-50 would be 120. Why would Mayweather say no to that? We just met your number of $100 million and added an extra 20. Why wouldn't you meet it?
If I had to guess,
yeah,
because he's got money.
Right.
He's not like
what's
all these other guys that are
is
negotiating.
Is it the cut that he wants, or is it the amount of money? So if he's like, nope, it's got to be 60-40, and somehow the analytics come back and they're like, well, it looks like we're only making $100 million. All right, cool. You get your 60, we get 40. We'll split 20 and 20 with Connor. You think he'd be happy? Would be no. Wait a minute. I wanted $100 million going into this. Well, wait a minute. You got your 60-40. You see what I'm saying? Is it the math? Is it the pride? Is it the ego? What is it?
A lot of that.
We'd love to know. And why is it taking
More
2
pride
weeks?
and ego, though.
Him and Connor shook hands. Dana and Connor shook hands or made it work 2 weeks ago. All these people are Vegas-based. And Dana did say, my patience is running thin. Well,
Doesn't
it's been
it
2
seem
weeks.
like something you just put them in the room and it would probably get results? Like, remember how much leeway they made at the Miami Heat game when Manny and Floyd actually met and just talked?
Right.
I wish they could do that.
I wish so, too.
Sorry, Marco. Go ahead.
Yeah, a second question real quick. So Dana White went into the UFC podcast and he said Chris Cyborg is going to be the co-main up in Anaheim, but she doesn't got an opponent yet. Now, Megan Anderson supposedly has a freaking bout announced in Invicta, but for me that doesn't mean anything because if she get the bad signal from the UFC, that fight can be a scratch and Megan Anderson can fight Chris Cyborg. But let's say Megan Anderson is not the one. Who is the one that's going to fight Chris Cyborg in Anaheim? And are they going to freaking do the stripping, the randoming of the bell? What is happening here? Because if Chris is fighting in Anaheim, as Dana White said on his own podcast, who's she fighting? We better let you guys catch tomorrow.
See you, Marco. Well, there is that name out there of Kat Zingano. Said she'd fight her. I thought it would be Megan Anderson, but she's headlining an upcoming Invicta card. And whoever she's fighting, which I don't really remember her name, she's out, obviously, because she's fighting Megan Anderson.
I think Megan would give her a good
Jermaine
fight.
wants nothing to do with it. And Holly Holm has her own fight going on in Singapore. Too close. I mean, it's been done, but too close in my opinion. We're waiting on the Holly Holm result, and then it'll be Holly Holm. But if Marco's asking a question, who could it be? I guess it could be Holly Holm off a month's notice, less than a month's notice. I guess they could take apart the Megan Anderson. I'm just saying that if certain pieces are off the table, because they could technically take apart the Megan Anderson fight, but I just don't think they'd announce it other than to put pressure on Cyborg. But what's the pressure? She wants the
They
fight.
gave her the card, yeah. They already put her on. She's
Right.
TBA.
So it's not like she's wondering what she should do. She's basically down to fight. I don't think she's asking for more money. She's under a contract. So we're just trying to basically what doesn't it boil down to? We're just trying to find her an opponent.
I think it's Kat, just because Kat has kind of
That's what I think
hinted
so.
a little bit towards that. She's in San Diego now, so I could see it being that fight.
That's what I think so too.
But I've always said I don't know what Urena Bars' contracts are like, but why not grab the girl that beat her in Muay Thai and be able to go, look, this girl beat Cyborg, people.
What happened with her recently too? She lost the fight, right?
She just fought not too long ago.
Urena Bars. Was it kickboxing, Muay Thai? I could have sworn she experienced a loss.
She's
well,
fun.
She's never lost in kickboxing.
She's a good interview. I think she would talk smack. I mean, she didn't back down one bit when she was here in the studio. Wow, last time she was in the studio, George, we still had the old studio, huh?
She's 1-3 in mixed martial arts?
Yeah.
Wow. That was a perfect time, Danny. She's 1-3. Her last fight was April of 2013. But she did beat Chris Cyborg.
And that's all that matters.
Right. And she's won 4 times since that. So she's winning. 28 years old. I mean, let's make it happen, right? I guess the 1-3 part would be hard to sell. But the UFC has sold us a lot of other stuff in the past. I think we could stomach it.
Yeah.
When James Toney came in, he
I
was
think we would be
0-0.
pumped up about
And we
it.
said, oh, yeah, but he's a boxing champion. You know? And when CM Punk came in, but, you know, he's been with the Gracies for years, and he was a WWE champion. So why can't we do Urena if everybody goes, she's 1-3? We can go, yeah, but she's undefeated, and she beat Cyborg.
It's not like,
you see what I'm saying?
Like Chris is known for taking people down and ground and pounding. Like, most of the work she does is on the feet. So I just sell it as, this is the girl that beat Cyborg. They're going to stand and bang. You know that. Let's just see who goes down.
I threw out something before the break, and I want to close it out right quick before we get to Darius. Jose Aldo, if he wins, what happens? Obviously, if it's a classic, him and Holloway, and there's a lot of push, and people go, no, we thought Holloway won, and most people think he won, they may run that one back, even though the champion won. They really might. Or if it's a draw. But if he wins and it's convincing, obviously, I think they give Frankie Edgar the wink, which says, don't come up the stairs. We just did you a year ago. You're 0-2. No disrespect. Mendes is on suspension. Lamas has Chan Sung Jung coming up, but he's fought him. So has Chan Sung Jung. Someone who has fought him, but not for the title, is Cub Swanson, who I believe I read is also close to entering free agent status. So, you know, you could possibly say, let's run Cub in there. Again,
It
Cub
happened so fast.
fought Jose.
It didn't really play out.
Right. He fought Jose, and it happened quick. It didn't play out. But it wasn't for the title, and it was such a long time ago. It wasn't even in the UFC. It was in WC. I think you could do it, and I think the fans would go, yeah, Cub, cheers. You know what I mean? And if Jose were to say, but I finished him in 13 seconds, then I think you'd go, but you got finished in 8, and you want Conor again sometime, so stop it.
Yeah.
I like how there's always a counter. In this sport, there's always a counter.
I remember Cub said that, and he felt like getting hit in the face with a baseball bat.
He did, man. He did. Cub's been around for a long time. He's paid dues. And I think one more fight and he's a free agent. So that'd be a perfect time to go, how about a title fight and a nice contract? They don't give gyms, they don't give UFC gyms to fighters that they don't think highly of. And he co-shares or co-owns a UFC gym in Costa Mesa, California. Plus, he's had classics the last few years. So I could really see Cub Swanson being a little bit of a long shot, but being maybe the
He's
front
in the
runner
mix.
should Jose win. Otherwise, you got to get your scroll on. Pettis bailed. Oliveira, he keeps saying, I'm going back to 45, but he's lost key fights. Ortega's undefeated. He doesn't fight frequently, but he's fighting another undefeated fighter in Renato Moicano. So someone's always going to go that night. It's just we got to wait till the end of July to figure out who that is. And the winner, I just don't think has enough momentum behind him where we can go, yes, him versus Aldo. I think Cub is a name. Right now, Cub, Swanson versus Jose Aldo, you're like, I can't wait to see the poster. I can't wait for the build-up. Anyway, let's get back to the phone calls. 866-522-2846. Darius from Poland. What's up, Darius?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good, and you?
Very good. Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank you guys again for having me and my son on the gathering. You guys were very nice, as always, and we had a very nice experience. So, again, thank you very much.
Awesome, man. Thanks for coming out, Darius, for sure, man.
All right. Let's go to the meat and potatoes. Conversation with Gadelia and Jędrzejczyk. First of all, Kowalkiewicz is going to win. So Gadelia and Jędrzejczyk probably won't happen.
A little bit of a bias there, or is this really you want to back that up a little more?
No, obviously I am a bias, but who knows? I mean, I understand that Kowalkiewicz is underdog, but I obviously have my fingers crossed, and I think she's very very well all-rounded. I think she could pull her off.
She's also pretty.
I mean, with the 5 rounds, I would say that she would be favorite. With the 3 rounds, obviously, Gadelia is a beast in the first 2 rounds. I mean, we just saw, twice pretty much fighting with Jędrzejczyk. We could say that that she won actually. Some people feel that she won 4 rounds, fighting with her already in total with the 2 rounds. Anyway, little speculations about Marian Jędrzejczyk fighting in Poland.
Yeah.
So actually, I hear her interviews in Polish media. She said she's not going to fight in Poland. The reason is why she got a new contract signed with UFC, and she has seems like she's very happy with her paper. She gets some points from pay-per-views. She said that the contract, if people would see how the contract works, that doesn't make sense for her to fight, take any fight which is not pay-per-view. That UFC would have to put some huge incentives, and everything has to be rewritten. So she said that she's going to visit Poland, the answer yes, but that, most likely not happen, that she won't fight in Poland.
Well, they did do a pay-per-view with out of Sweden once, right? Mm-hmm. And Manchester. So the late night is possible. I hear a lot of fighters go, it's fucking miserable, but they do it. Even the ones in Brazil have been pretty late. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. Plus, I believe, I mean, there's nothing that a big paycheck can't take care of. It's like, wait a minute, I'm not on pay-per-view, but I get pay-per-view points. Well, how's this sound? And you tack on a bonus that makes that up or gets it close, and you get to fight in Poland, I think she could change her mind. So I think those are problems that could be solved there, Darius.
I think
right. No, you're right. Just October, the fight in October, that's not pay-per-view. That's
I see what you mean.
Fight night. So pretty much what she said, that she's not interested to have any fight nights, even as a main event, because apparently she said that the structure, how she gets paid, if everybody would see it, would understand what she's talking about.
Yeah.
So seems like they already approached her to be as a guest and something like a honor. So seems to me from that interview at least that they had some conversation with her to be as a sort of like a ambassador during that fight, for October.
Right, and I don't think we meant with their next card. We just meant on a future card.
Yeah, and I don't think these fighters have as much pull as people make it sound. Like, just Dana today, talking about DJ, like, you have to remember, we make the fights, not you. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like when they're making that contract with Joanna, they had to have thought, wouldn't it be great to have a stadium show with her? So there's got to be some kind of fallback plan, like you said, some kind of backstage check or something that would make that work.
And what these interviews are the preliminary negotiations. It's just subtle messages or sometimes direct messages that they each send to each other, jabs, insinuations, things like that. Well, this is kind of where I stand, you know. And Dana is the voice of the UFC, so he's the one always hitting the other side. And because he's the only voice, that's why he's basically that asshole, because you constantly hear, why is he always on the attack? Well, it's basically an individual fight with each single fighter that he has to go through this with. But what Goze is alluding to is an interview he did on UFC Unfiltered where he's stating that Demetrius Johnson is declining to fight TJ Dillashaw, and Dana feels that it'll be more lucrative for him. And, of course, you know, there is that personality side of Dana that when things don't go right, he also does sound like a bit like a baby. But I don't think I'd go that far. He's running a business. We all back the fighters. We really do, because without them, there is no business. But, again, without the UFC running the business the way they do, there may not be the UFC. And that's definitely proven. Don't tell me it's not, because big organizations have gone out there and struck out. And guess what? We could have been left without a sport. So they kind of did have to be dicks along the way. Darius, I will let you know what our plans are on Friday. I'm going to be at the Smithfield Hall, NYC, Rick Buto's Soccer Bar, on Friday at 4 p.m. if you want to have a pint with me.
All right. Sounds awesome.
And the pint's on me, buddy. All right, we'll see you there.
Like
water? All right, see you there.
Later.
Bye-bye.
So that's one thing I know. I land at 6 a.m. If the hotel lets me check in early, I'm going there. I'm going to handle that, put my stuff down, maybe shower, whatever. And then I have tentative plans to go see our cousin Richard's baby daughter. And then from there, I got to go to the SiriusXM studio to do the show from 1 to 3. I'll be calling in. Goze will be here, man, in the ship. And so we'll do the show from 1 to 3. And I imagine Danny and I will do some post work, maybe take us 30 minutes. And then from there, I'd really like to get to this bar and pay my tributes to Rick Buto, have a pint and just see his surroundings, see what it was like, you know, what his bar was like. Unfortunately, do you know it?
I could find it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably do that.
I would imagine they would know, too.
Well, I did call yesterday, and the night shift guy wasn't as familiar with the day shift guy, so he didn't know who the hell I was talking about. And I even wanted to tell him, how dare you. But he spoke to his manager. He goes, no, he came in at different times. Maybe that was him playing, you know, I don't know. And they said they did know who he was and blah, 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 and that was his bar, and please come on in. So I figured right after, I just need to get things going, you know, if I lollygag and do other stuff. So I'd rather say that's where I'll be. I've already told a few people. That's where I'll be if you want to join me for a pint. It's Smithfield Hall, NYC. In fact, got the address right here. It is the following.
Oh.
Y'all ready for it? Got the pen and paper out? Because that's what I was doing, was making sure you had the pen. It's 138 West 25th Street, New York, New York, 10001. I called it the West Ham United Bar because that's just my notes that I took down.
It's a split bar, right?
It's called Smithfield Hall, NYC. Is it?
Yeah, half of it is a Man U bar and the other half is a...
No shit.
That's why he was always telling us you should come, because it's half and half.
Oh, I thought he meant just because it'd be cool to watch a game together.
No, it's also Man U bar.
Yeah. You know, one thing we didn't do, unless you guys did it, I really wanted to get together, have a toast, pour one out for the big guy, Rick Buto.
Dude, when did we do that? Somebody brought it up at one of the events, and we did it. It was really, really subtle. And then Ray came over here. I don't know if you saw that. And he put up an IPA on the windowsill.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was
I
really
didn't notice
cool.
that.
Fuck, when was it?
The only thing we did was when they brought in, you know, Christian and Carla and a few others involved, brought in, you know, the case with the Budo T-shirt. You know, that was a time to reflect. But I never got to really toast one for the big guy, unless in my drunken stupors that was said. I think I remember
might have
something.
been the first night at Center.
I wanted something a little bit more official, maybe.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. But I always think about that guy, man. And yesterday I replayed that video he made. Ooh, man.
It's rough, huh?
Watery eyes. And then, get this, as I'm watching that, guess what circles in? You know how YouTube recognizes the tribute to Jackie? I'm like, oh, for crying out loud. So I'm trying to stomach that. And then, of course, the 2000 show, back to back to back to back, all these memories flooding me. So I was sitting here like a sucker.
How about Ryan Bennett? That circled in on mine, too. So before the show started yesterday, you know, Facebook reminds you, like, 10 years ago today or something. something came up with Ryan on it, and I thought about it, like, holy shit. And then we forgot. I got your text at the end of the show, and I was like, we didn't even get a chance to bring it up on the show. But yeah, it was. I did the same thing. I heard a lot of Rick Budo stuff, and I saw that cool picture and stuff. And I was like, wow, there's Junkie Nation has kind of lost a few really big dogs.
Yesterday was the 11th anniversary of the loss of Ryan Bennett. Ryan Bennett was the co-founder of MMA Weekly, and that website had a radio show called Sound Off. He, along with Frank Trigg, hosted over 1,000 episodes, and they did it for about 4 to 5 years. Same type of show like this one. You can call in as a fan and talk MMA, talk whatever was on your mind, or, as they say, sound off on something. It was awesome. I used to call in. I used to listen. I loved it. They had a chat. It was great. I made a lot of great friends through that show, including Sam All Jam and Rick Budo. I never got to meet Rick Budo, but I did get to meet Sam All Jam. But one day, May 31st, 2006, Ryan Bennett lost his life. He was driving from Utah to Las Vegas to cover a boxing event, not even an MMA event. It was just something they asked him to do in addition. So he decided to do a family vacation. Tire blew out. He flew out of the car, and he lost his life. So that was a tough moment because you get used to hearing somebody's voice, and you're like, all of a sudden he or she cannot be there, and you're like, oh, man, it's like really losing a friend. And that's I got to meet him, so I considered him a friend, and hopefully he considered me that. But he was awesome. We lost him. And every year we've tried to pay tribute one way or another, including last year, which was his 10-year anniversary. It was basically a 2-hour show.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't believe that I forgot. Juliet's got those names. So for the month of May, I could see Ryan Bennett, rest in peace. I knew that date was coming up, but I knew we had time to get to it. And I'm telling you, man, this last Junkie Gathering depleted me so much that the first couple days I was just going through the motions. Trying to, wash my clothes, do stuff, do the laundry and unpack and catch up on messages like I was saying earlier, that it just slipped through the cracks. So I apologize to, to those that I think hold us up to a higher standard than to forget something like that. Anyway, we got to take this break. Danny's going to kill me. It's MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM March 93.
Yeah. You know what? I like the players. No diggity.
Do what they say, and your life will be a lot better. Here are Gorgeous and Goze.
Soccer Super Bowl is this week, and you can hear wall-to-wall coverage on SiriusXM. Tune in to SiriusXM FC 85 all week long for expert analysis leading up to Saturday's Champions League final between Real Madrid and Juventus. Saturday, hear the match live at 2:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports on SiriusXM Channel 83. After the game, SiriusXM FC Channel 85 has instant reaction with Rodney Marsh. On the postgame show, don't miss a kick of soccer's biggest matches on SiriusXM. Let's talk to DJ Tony in San Francisco. What's up, Tony? How you doing?
Vino para boche!
How you doing?
Nothing there, crickets? All right.
No, we laughed.
We laughed.
So much for my setup.
We laughed. Did
Yeah.
you want us to laugh
Thank
before the
you.
joke?
No, I guess I'm used to the crickets, so I'm all right, guys. Hey, guys, of course, that's a shout-out in Portuguese to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, UFC 212. Hey, guys, I'm sorry I missed you guys at the Junkie Gathering. I really did want to be there. It's just I had too much going on, too many mortgages, and frankly, not enough time. But, hey, guys, as Andre 3000 once sang about Carolina Kowalkiewicz, she's cooler than a polar bear's toenails. Guys, do we know what the contract status is for Invicta FC and the UFC? Meaning, is it possible that Bellator can come in and just buy out Invicta FC?
That's a great question, but it is a little loco. The UFC owns actually a few of the contracts of the Invicta fighters, and at the same time, Shannon Knapp and Dana White are really close. I just don't see that would ever happen unless it was so lucrative that Dana White would say, as a friend, I'll let you do it. But even then, I think at that point, Dana White may step in and do it. So I don't think it'd be very likely.
All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks a lot. You guys are the greatest. Shout out to Danny Otto of Automatic 253. And like that.
See you, Tony. All right, Goze and I are going to try a new method. We're just going to call these fools, these guests of ours, and see if we make it happen in the second hour. If not, call in at 866-522-2846.
I'm gonna keep on the run. I'm gonna have me some fun. It cost me my very last dime. If I wind up
Jimmy will be good to go in 10 minutes.
Yo, fellas, y'all ready to do this? Yeah, yo, what's up, guys? What's up, boys, I'm in effect. Yeah, in the territorial. Yo, let's rip this up.
Can you? Or you want me to?
BBD. The East Coast family never skip the beat. Nah. Wacoon on South Street, jet black band, plenty of friends,
and all the Philly steaks you can eat.
Back in school, we used to dream about this every day. Could it really happen? Or do dreams just fade away? Yeah. Then we started singing the bass and it sounds smooth. Then we started a group and here we are, taking it just for you.
It's a jam.
The only weird part is that beginning. I just don't get it.
What was it again that you don't like?
The beginning. That's so stupid.
But what happens again?
You want me to play it again?
Yeah, just play the
You
beginning.
pointed it out once, and I remember co-signing, but I forgot. What was it?
Here you go.
Tell us now before it happens so we can.
Okay.
Oh, that.
Yeah. Who said this song's bitchin', but you know what it's lacking? Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's like someone walked into a room and saw a snake, and they have a big fear of snakes, right?
Yeah.
Hey, come in here. And we're all giggling. They walk in. Oh!
Mm-hmm.
Like one of those.
Someone said, keep it.
Yeah. I'm
What's
out
wrong
of
with
here.
it?
What the fuck's wrong with you guys? Jimmy Manuel will join the show at 2:15 p.m. Eastern Time. He's slated to fight at the upcoming UFC 210 card. That's the same card, by the way, that's headlined by John Jones and Daniel Cormier. It's July 29th in Anaheim, California. He'll be fighting Vulcan Ozdemir. Great fight. Solid backup to the title fight. So if there are those fears, is Jones going to show? What's going to happen? There's a quality backup there if Jones don't show in Manuel for Cormier. And obviously, it's not like Cormier's never pulled out of a fight, but if he were to pull out, I think it's as long as it's not too severe, you just shelve the fight. But at least you have these light heavyweight contenders clearly making one of them number one. I mean, I guess you could maybe put Alex on the fight card, but he just fought.
Nah.
Not that Vulcan didn't.
Yeah, I like the way this
but if
played out.
Cormier didn't fight, have you seen Jones and Gustafsson chirping at each other?
Yeah, that was kind of weird, man.
We'll go over that in a second. I want to take Aaron's call from Minneapolis. If you want to join in, it's 866-522-2846. We'll only have one guest today, but he's coming up soon. So if you don't get in now, you can get in right after the interview. And we can talk about Jones and Gusti or anything else that's on your mind. TJ, DJ. If the fight's going to happen in Seattle or TJ. And if it happens in TJ, will the after party? Never mind. Aaron from Minneapolis, what's up?
Jay. Well, first off, I really enjoyed your Ray Borg interview. He's a cool guy. But this is kind of my voice of reason call on why not only is Ray Borg not deserving, but it's a perfect time for TJ. I've already mentioned Ray Borg's got 2 wins in a row. There has never been a guy that's fought Demetrius off of less than 3 wins. There's also 4 guys in the top 10 who have more wins than he does. Obviously, Joseph Benavidez has 6 wins. I know he's had 2 shots. Horiguchi has 4. Pettis has 3. Moreno has 11 in a row.
How many in a row in the UFC though? Because Moreno has 3 in a row in the UFC, and Pettis has 3 in a row in the UFC. But they're fighting each other. Moreno's young, not that Pettis isn't, but I guess he had his one setback too. If we do go back on Borg though, he's won 5 of 6. Benavidez is on the shelf till the end of the year, and then the other one is now with Ryzen. So it's not like we're egregiously slapping somebody in the face to slip Borg in. There's my point.
But you think we should slow our roll?
Right. Well, here's my point. Okay, so if he's the most deserving guy, and he's only got 2 wins in a row, and what is he ranked? 5th, something like that. I just think that it's no more of a perfect time to have a super fight. I mean, TJ lost the title on a split decision.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, he's not the champ, but, I mean, he could easily be the champ. To me, the only reason not to do it for Demetrius is because he wants that record. And honestly, who cares? What, didn't he tie the record?
It's huge, though,
Take the money.
But then again, Floyd Mayweather, he tied the record. He didn't give a shit, right? He could have broken that easily.
True.
Maybe fighters are just different cuts.
And make no mistake, when I first heard TJ call Dana and Dana said he's interested, I thought, wow. Like, I thought that was pretty cool, too. A former champion coming down, wanting to do that. I've always been a big fan of TJ, and that made me even a bigger fan. Then the champ stands up for himself and says, no, this guy's not just going to cut the line. I have a say in this. I want Borg. And so I thought, well, there's another guy I respect. I see his point. So I'm good with whatever they decide to do. At the time we had the Borg interview, I thought the focus was on, hey, man, this is your platform. Why should you do it? And, yeah, there's going to be some co-signing and shit like that because, Goze and I, we're not objective journalists. We like to just basically go with the flow of the conversation. If TJ were to call in right now going, it's me, dog, we'd probably be going, well, yeah, you bring good points there too, because in the end it's not our decision. It's theirs. But, I was privy to another conversation. It's just stuff that I can share, but it was it was things that it was basically, it was around the time where I said, boy, it sure is true. The promotion's right on many fronts. The athletes are right on many fronts. And it's not like anybody's wrong. I think they can both be right. It's just that they see things through different lenses. So we'll see.
You think that Joseph Benavidez is more deserving with 6 wins? I know he's lost 2. We've seen Rampage lost 2 to Vanderlei, came back and won. But, 6 wins in a row. When does he get that next chance? I'll pick it up here.
All right, see Aaron. I really wanted Joseph to get it after the 6th win, especially when he beat another guy, and they were both coaches of a season where they coached other 16 fighters to fight the guy they were both gunning for. I thought that has to be it. And even though I thought it'd be unfair because Cejudo had not beaten anybody yet, so he was just going to get another title shot. I wouldn't say that they drove that point home, but I thought it was implied somewhere.
How gut-wrenching would it have been if he did get the matchup and then got hurt the way he got here? Can you imagine?
I know. I suppose Pettis would have a case and Marino, but I think Marino is still building. It's just all happened so quick. He was just in the reality show, for crying out loud. I think Pettis as well can build to that. Borg seems a little bit more seasoned in his 5 out of 6 run, even though he's, I think, the same age as the other 3.
He's try and do something that just nobody's really been able to do, and that's take Demetrius down and hold him down. You know who we always forget about? Ian McCall gave him a hell of a run, I thought. And I could see TJ Dillashaw fighting that way.
Yeah.
That's what makes it interesting for me.
I agree. Let's get to Bones. Johnny Bones Jones reacting 3 days later to Gustafsson's comments post-fight there in Sweden. Let's see if I can pull this up here. He basically, fired back. He did it via social media, as is the case, as is usually the case. You don't really see too many Bones interviews out there. And I think most of the time it has to do with the fact that he just can't help but fry himself one way or another. You know what I mean?
It just doesn't
At least
flow.
this way he has the chance to, look at it, reread it, and even then he takes him down. But
I'm going to put it up here behind.
I'm struggling with
Here you go, George.
with the internet. So, all right. Oh, here it comes up.
There it comes again.
So Bones Jones says to Alexander Gustafsson, you can read this on the front page of MMA Junkie at Johnny Bones. Of course you are rooting for Daniel Gus. You might as well pray for him while you're at it. Then he writes, and here's a little FYI. You didn't lose against DC and I because of your cardio. It was because of your lack of heart.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a jab.
He writes, I'm not a champion because you don't like my personality. F you, fool. No, F you, LOL. Sorry, not fool. F you, LOL. Then he writes, in quotes, as if to say this is what Alex said, because Alex said he's a bad person. John Jones is a bad person. You sound like a F dork. Congrats on the engagement, though. Beautiful woman. Why is he writing that out? Does Twitter not allow that?
We do that.
Oh, we do that.
We can't put that on our website.
Oh, that's where we write expletive or
Yeah.
whatever?
I think. I'm almost positive.
Okay. Is that it? Is there anything else to scroll?
Well,
he writes, maybe good guys don't always finish last. I'm not a champ because I'm a bad person. You're not a champ because you don't win championship fights. He kept it 100 with that one. And that's about it. So, of course, thousands of shares and page views. Like I told you, drama sells. And drama sells page views. But drama sells fights too.
So what is
Alexander
Gustafsson do
That's
now?
the sphere we're in. We may get out of it one day, who knows? But that's the sphere we're in, and so I think the fighters have to adapt. Excuse me?
What do you think Gustafsson does now? Does he fall into that? Does he keep it going? Or does he play the, hey, you're a bad guy, I'm going to do my thing? What's his play?
I think he said what he said. The only other thing he may have a rebuttal for is, did he lose because of lack of heart? I mean, shit, you're out there for 25 minutes and you're hanging in there with the best. You have heart, I guess. I think it was cardio. I think if he had a little more cardio, I don't think it was.
A lot of people would say it was the judges. A lot of people had him winning the fight still.
Yeah. No, I remember this. It was 2-1 after the third, and in the fourth and fifth, Alex was winning both rounds, and John came back and won them. So it does show heart. You have to have cardio to get that far anyway. It's just one guy out-cardioed the other, maybe out-willed the other. Maybe there is some truth to that, had heart. But just to go that far against great fighters, you have to have heart.
Yeah.
So did one guy have a bigger heart? I suppose. Or maybe one guy had a little bit more cardio. Or maybe one guy just took less damage and at that time was thinking, wait, I'm this far away from him. He won't. So next thing you know, you're getting hit. I think that's what's happening. You're out there and it's all foggy, and you're seeing 3 Bones Jones, and he's seeing 3 Goosties, and they're standing there and they know where they're at, and they're hearing instructions, and just as they want to do something, they get hit. They're tired, they're weary, they're damaged. So yeah, it could be more hard, it could be less damage. I don't know. So maybe fire back on that, but other than that, I think you said what you said.
Yeah, especially if you're playing up, he's the bad guy, then you just play it off.
What you can do is wait for Bones to do something and then go the smiley face route, chime in on that. Just keep it active.
Where's your heart?
It was basically the flames got fanned, and now they're dying down. So, yeah, he can come back in there, pour a little more gasoline on it or leave it alone. But don't ever let a little flame go out. Always, like the Olympic torch, always keep a little bit of a flame and, keep it running, because you never know. If DC, God forbid, if DC were to say, damn it, I sprain my knee or something, and I won't be ready to go till September or October, and the UFC goes, well, you got to run this. Boy, this thing's hot right now. You see what I'm saying? But if you were to, take your foot off the gas or kind of go away for a while, then maybe someone else chirps. Maybe Bones gets the attention of someone else. Who knows?
I feel you.
Danny, I saw you make an attempt there.
Yeah, I called. It rang all the way through, and then I didn't get a voicemail. I guess it's the equivalent of not having your voicemail set up. Just stopped ringing.
All right. Well, we got 45 minutes to make it happen. Let's get a commercial out of the way. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
All right. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. I'm going to pop open the iTunes. That way I can crank some of these out in case we're not able to track down Jimmy Manoa.
No, we'll get him.
You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. I feel like I said that 10 seconds ago, so I'm just going to bounce.
To link into the MMA Junkie Radio Network, hit us up on twitter.com at MMA Junkie Radio. This is MMA Junkie Radio. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goze.
Let's get right into it, man. I'll tell you what, Jimmy Manuwa was becoming an instant follow on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously him and DC get into it, and sometimes he gets into it with the fans. But in a recent post, Cormier was saying, "No honeymoon, bro. Fight prep. All of y'all are always on my mind. That's why I'm the best." And then Jimmy says, "Why your boy DC thinking of me on his honeymoon? Concentrate on his wife." Well, what's funny is those little emojis, because they're like, they're like little silly emojis, and these are like the baddest men in the world, kind of cyber shoving each other.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. This is the game, though. What's up, Jimmy Manuwa? How you doing?
How we doing, guys? You good?
We're doing great, man. Just laughing at your run at social media this past weekend, whether it be the fans or DC or anyone else. It looks like I know at some point you said you don't really enjoy it too much. You like to do the fighting in the cage, but it looks like you're kind of having fun to me.
It's not really having fun. I'm just responding to him. It's like I'm on his mind too much, I'm there minding my own business and in Stockholm, supporting my friend Alex, and he tweets something. I look on my Twitter and he tweeted something like, "I'm Alex's cheerleader" or some shit like that. I just responded to it. That's it. I don't know why I'm on his mind so much. I'm only number 3. I'm no threat to him. Why am I on his mind?
Oh man, this is great. And this division's very top heavy at 205, but you guys are some killers up there, and it's great that everyone's mixing it up, especially on July 29th, as was announced. You are now on that card. You and Vulcan Ozdemir will be mixing it up on the main card of UFC 214. How excited were you to get that news?
Yeah, I was excited. I knew I was going to be on a card anyway, but it's just the opponent was yet to be thing. But I saw his knockout, and I had a feeling it would be him, because everyone else is either fighting or doesn't want to fight. So I had a feeling it would be him. He stepped up, so now I'm going to have to deal with him, and then on to the next one.
Will you have the type of training camp where your focus is on Vulcan Ozdemir, but maybe 10% of it, 25% of it does keep an eye on John Jones and, his troubles, and if he doesn't make it to the dance, I got to believe you get elevated. So do you have to also prep for Cormier too?
100%. But at the same time, my main focus is my opponent, But I think I was still working on wrestling, and I was still working on all aspects of the game. So it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. I'll be ready in all areas. Whether it be wrestling or striking.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what camp I do, it's going to be near enough the same, but just working on certain specifics of the opponent.
Does the camp shift venues and head back to London now that the focus is off Gustafsson and it's back on you? Or has the camp been established in Sweden where you'll head back up that way?
I'll be heading back to Sweden. There's a lot more killers as well in the camp that I can mix it up with. I've got strikers coming over from Europe and possibly Dubai and stuff to help me out. And that's it really.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let me turn it over to Goze. We got Jimmy Manuwa here on the line, folks. He's fighting at UFC 214 versus Vulcan Ozdemir. That is such a 1-2 punch with Cormier and Jones and Manuwa Ozdemir. I can't wait. It's in our hometown, Goze.
Mm-hmm.
Goze, what do you have for the poster boy?
Well, I have a bit of a suggestion. And here's the way I'm looking at that night. After you're done with your fight, you got to go back. You got to see the doctor. They got to take the wraps off, all that stuff. Make sure you're okay. Don't hit the showers. Come right back out, sit right in between John Anik and whoever his partner will be that night, and put that headset on, because I want to hear his thoughts during that fight. What do you think, Jimmy?
Not a bad idea.
What do you think, Jimmy?
I think that's a great idea. That's what I plan to do anyway.
I like
I'm going to be keeping a close eye on them. I've seen them fight and everything. I'd like to see John Jones, what John Jones comes back with and how he looks and that. And, yeah, it's exciting times. It's exciting times. So I'm now going to be fighting the winner of that fight. So, you know, let's get past Vulcan first and then on to the next one.
What were your thoughts on Vulcan's performance? I know it didn't last that long, but what did you think? How did he look going in and the fight? What did you think of it?
Vulcan, he looks confident and everything, and he's a good fighter. You know, he's coming. He's had a quick start in the UFC. He's beat 2 top 10 opponents straight away, so that's why they're putting him at number 5 now. And you know, I'm gonna have to welcome him into the elite now. And I like his confidence and stuff, but he's got to fight me now. And I'm not no joke, and I'm gonna show him what's what.
I know the victory is the most important thing for you that night, but is there a piece of you that needs to also make a statement and get that finish?
I always make a statement. My fights never go the distance, so it's always a statement for me. I've got to show the world how good I am, and he's not going to be no decision win either. I'm gonna switch his lights off.
And am I reading this right? Or you would prefer Cormier win and face Cormier because that storyline's already been built up?
Would I prefer to face Cormier?
Yeah, because the storyline's built up. Forget about, I guess, the skill sets or anything like that. But just because there already seems to be something laid there.
I'm not interested in storylines and stuff. I want the belts. I'm focused on the belts.
Okay.
I'm focused on the World Championship belt. So whether John Jones gets it or Cormier gets it, I don't care. They're both hard fights. They're both the best in the world. So I want to beat the best in the world and become the best in the world. And that's it for me. I'm not interested in storylines and all this trap talk and all this bullshit. Because for Cormier, to Cormier, it's a joke for him. You know, he thinks it's, take the piss out of you and call you this and call you that and everything. I take that shit seriously. And it's not, he's like, to me, he's like a schoolboy bully. Like one of those fat kids in school who's bigger than everyone and throws his weight around and tries to laugh at everyone and stuff like that. That's how he comes across to me. And that, but you know, we're not in school no more. We're grown men, and I don't suffer any of that shit. So he can keep on with his chat talk. I'll show him what's what when we're face to face, you know. And there won't be no water bottle throwing. I'll get down.
Jimmy Manuwa spitting venom, man. I'm telling you, you in studio about a month ago and you on the phone.
I'm not spitting venom. This is the truth. This is how I get down. I'm from London. I'm from South London. We don't suffer any of that. That's why I've been humble. That's why I don't talk shit to anybody. Or when it comes my way, I deal with the matter properly, and I don't suffer any of that shit.
There you go, folks. All right, Jimmy. Congrats on getting this fight booking. Congrats on getting this fight booking, and we're definitely enjoying this run of yours. We've been covering you for a long time, and because we're not from Vegas, we're from California, 10 minutes away from that arena.
And I was in there, and you know, come and enjoy myself. I haven't been there since I was born as well. I left there when I was 2 years old, Sacramento. So you know, I can't wait to get back there, and this time it's going to be in front of how many people does the Honda Center hold?
It holds about 17,000 when it's basketball or hockey. It may go up to about 18 because obviously it's a smaller playing field, you know, the octagon, and you have the seated people. But I'm expecting 18,000 is a safe number. And even though ticket sales start off slow, California's a walk-up crowd, and it will be sold out. It's going to be super loud, and it's going to be a great night.
100%, man. So I'm sure the Jones and DC fight is going to be massive, and I'm looking for another performance of the night, knockout of the night, as always, and that's about it, man.
Thanks for the time, Jimmy. So I hope you have a safe camp, and safe travels to the U.S. at some point, and of course we'll see you on July 29th.
Thanks for having me, guys. Always a pleasure. And shout out to all the fans and all the supporters.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Talk to you soon.
Cheers, brother. Thanks.
Cheers. That's as intense as you get right there, right?
I know he's overseas, but I almost went and closed that door. That's how scared I got halfway through that.
Oh, man. I'm from South London, man. I love it. And if you skip a show from time to time, and you didn't see when Jimmy was here in the studio, check that one out. You'll dig it. He was really, really cool. Solid guy, but you can tell that, he mixed it up growing up with many a people, and he told a cool street fight story. If I recall, when we asked him to predict a fight, it was tough to get those out of him, but I know some of you are probably wondering, but he says he's not interested in storylines. The DC Manu angle seems to be pretty big, but, Jones versus anyone's pretty big, too. If Jones wins that fight, Jones versus, whoever is pretty big. Jones versus Ozdemir would be pretty big just because Jones is a superstar. But there is something about, like I said, two grown men chirping, and then they got to settle it. It's like, ooh, man, it really, really, it really gets things going.
Do you want to address the comment I just got from Aaron Fisher?
Yeah.
So he says, this is his quote, "Not sure, bro. We'll see. I might come, might not. If I do, I'll just walk up and buy a ticket night of. Cali people are so cool." I know that sounds ridiculous, but this is the way things go down. This is more Southern California.
Uh-huh.
It actually does somewhat go down like that. Maybe not the night of, but maybe like couple days leading in, and it's because there's so many options, right? You guys want to go to the Dodger game? I don't know. Angels are in town. They're playing the Yankees. I haven't seen the Yankees want to do that. There's a lot of that shit.
Yeah, when you have a lot of options, there's a lot of possibilities out there, especially in the summer with concerts. And
all the bands come out this way.
Vacations and beaches.
Big shows.
And so what you don't want to do,
you don't want to commit.
Yeah, that's what it is. You don't want to commit, and it's kind of a dick move in a sense because you're like, well, wait a minute, you're hoping something better pops up. And it's not that. It really isn't. You know how we joke about Brazilians are late? And I think they realize, boy, being late was dumb. They really don't try and do it, but it's just something you're just used to. So it's not that we think something cooler might happen, and therefore we don't want to commit. It's just, I don't want to fucking give you my money right now to go get the ticket. Relax, bro. We'll get in. We always do. We have for the last 20 years or 30 years or however long you've lived. We'll get it.
If it's like NBA playoffs or something like that, that you do buy ahead of time. People aren't just walking up going, give me 2 tickets to the playoffs. Like, that wouldn't happen at Staples Center. But a UFC, stuff like that, even concerts, it is a lot of a walk-up.
Now, every once in a while, it stings you
Disneyland,
when you're
all
like,
that shit,
did you get tickets? I thought you were going to get them. Shit. And now they're really sold out, and you got to go
but
to a
you're willing
ticket
to
broker.
pay the extra to play the game.
You do a little bit because, again, something might pop up. We live near rivers and lakes and mountains and beaches.
Mexico.
And there's just a lot of last minute things that pop up. Therefore, I guess you just get, it's just something in our fiber,
there's always people in town. There's a lot of people visit California, especially Southern California. You may get that call that just goes, "Hey man, I haven't seen you in years, but I'm in town. Woo, let's go hang out." And even get this, that person could be visiting you in Southern California, but it's not strange at all for everybody in the room to go, "You guys want to roll to Vegas?"
Right.
Just shit happens. And that's why California. It's not all California. It's Southern California is a walk-up crowd. That is why.
It is. I don't know if I ever told this story. I think I have, but I had 2 buddies that were out drinking. I can share their names because their wives know it. Woody and Squid. They were out drinking, and they said, "Come on out." It was a happy hour. I go, man, for whatever reason, I wasn't feeling it that day. This was before cell phones, so it was just, I guess, someone calls your phone at home. Yeah, it was before. No.
Before cells, yeah.
Wait, Marcus wasn't
you had
born
your
yet,
own line,
and he
though.
was 18. He just turned 18. It may have been just it was cell phones exist. So I think texting wasn't as big of a deal. It was basically a phone call is what it was. Hey, you want to come out? No. I wasn't feeling it that day. And they went out. And then part of me was like, I guess I could and rally, but maybe I'd been out a few nights before and I didn't want to do it. So I was just kind of over it, but thinking, shit, it's always fun. So anyway, I told him, tell you what, if something crazy's happening, I'll come out. Or, if a bunch of people come out, it's fun, I'll come out. Or if you guys need a ride, let me know. I'll scoop you up. So they needed a ride. I don't think I went dressed up. They just needed a ride. Hey, can we take you up on that ride? Yeah. And so basically, we were just gonna go to Denny's and eat a couple hours. And if they sobered up and they could go, fine. And if not, then obviously I'd have to take them both home. And as we're sitting there, they're popping off a little, and somehow I came around to, we should have went to Vegas, but you wouldn't have gone. You didn't even go out tonight. I'm like, well, Vegas is another animal. I'll go to Vegas. Well, they said, yeah, right. I'm like, you guys are the ones that wouldn't have gone because you guys are both married. Shit, I can go anytime. I go, let's go now. And so they said, well, when the meal's over, let's go. All right, let's go. All right, let's go. All right, cool. Finish the meal, pay, get in the car, and I hop on the 55 freeway in Orange County.
Now, is that still going towards somebody's house? That could technically still get you to Woody's house, right, at the time? It's where you would have to go.
What we did was we passed the bar where their cars were at. Mm-hmm. But we didn't pass Squid's. Okay. So Woody could stay the night at Squid's and just go in the morning.
So the game is still playing.
Right. So as we passed that exit, I'm sure Woody said, I guess I'm staying at Squid's. I can't say none of this guy's driving me, or maybe he accepted, maybe he saw something in me that I shouldn't be driving. We go about another 2 miles and we pass Squid's. And all of a sudden, I hear somebody go, oh, shit, someone's tripping. And, of course, they thought I was playing poker, right? Uh-huh. So I'm driving.
Couple exits.
We get a couple exits. They kept thinking I turn around and go, man, I'm just bullshitting, and take them home, and that was it. Now we get on the 91. Now, remember, it's like 2 a.m., so there's no traffic because otherwise this is deplorable to be on that highway, especially. Around 2 a.m., I'm starting to get about 15 minutes away. But I think they felt like if I make it to the 15 freeway, which basically says, oh, so you're leaving Southern California, because the 15 allows you to go to San Diego. It allows you to continue going into the Inland Empire, the lakes, the rivers, all that towards Arizona. Or I suppose you just live in the Inland Empire, and there's still final freeways that can shuttle you to L.A., except we would have taken it earlier. But the 15 is basically letting you know, oh, you're headed to Vegas, if it were to talk to you. And I think that's what they thought was, if I get on the 15, that's it. Their goose is cooked. But I think they thought, we're just not going to say anything. As I'm going, I get on that lane, and I think they're still waiting for that last pull over or bail out, and I didn't do it, and I get, and the 15's got that big old.
You're committed, or you wanted them to kind of back you off?
I suppose if they gave me grief, I would have turned around, because one of them I think just had a baby, but but I guess I wanted to prove to them I'm spontaneous, which I didn't really need to prove. But if you're gonna play that game, I'm in,
Back to you in the corner.
But I was in sweats and just a t-shirt, and probably no socks and a pair of tennis shoes. So it's not like I had a bag. It's not like I planned this. We had nothing, and they had the clothes they wore to work that day. So once we get on that big old 15, it's like the big bridge. I see them both pull out their phones and start the call. I think one of them says, "You're gonna laugh your ass off to his." You're gonna laugh your ass off to his wife, because I could hear her go, "Hello," like frantic. "Hello, where are you?" And he goes, "You're gonna laugh your ass." He goes, "You're gonna laugh your ass off like on Friday." And then the other one's starting to call and say, "Hey, call me." I think the other wife was asleep, and I'm driving and I'm laughing. I'm going, "Oh man, I'm gonna get these guys in trouble," but I don't give a fuck. When you back me to a corner.
That's what happens?
That's the way the chips fall. So, yeah, I just kept driving, and I could hear one of them going, "Look, we were kind of joking, but George has kidnapped us." And you could hear the wife going, "Kidnapped you? You're 30 years old. Who gets kidnapped? Just tell him to turn you back." And I could hear him saying something along the lines, "But I'm going to lose street cred because I said this and he said that and he called my bluff and this and that, poker terms.
Let me play a game.
And so they're yelling, but they're whispering. No, I can't do that. Shut up. We'll be home, whatever. And then the other one had gotten a message, and then she finally called, and I guess the wives talked, and they tried one more run. By then, I'm already going up the mountain, the Grapevine, or not the Grapevine, the other one, the Cajon. And I think they were like, you can say what you want, but we're gone. And then I think they embraced how much fun it was to actually put a pie in their wife's face. Kind of like, this is the way I roll, basically, is what they're just, yeah, that was it, They put a pie in their face, and I got no backup. Even if they were to sober up, they're tired. So I had a 3-hour drive. I was rethinking it, going, I could have been in bed by now, And of course, when I get there, I got to buy clothes. We get there, dude, barely 6 a.m. Pulled in, had a coffee, some McDonald's, and we just slumped in the car at Caesar's Palace in the parking lot because we had a feeling if we walked up at 6 a.m. and said, "Can we have a room?" They'd go, "Check-in's not till noon." So we just slumped in the chair and slept for about 4 hours. Woke up around 10. We're like, hey, come on. We did it. We're here. Let's do this, Woke up. Of course, they wouldn't let us in. We started gambling.
Everything. It's so easy on a Friday night to just go, want to go to Vegas? And you could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people do. 60% of Vegas revenue comes from California.
They can drink Mentos-flavored Diet Coke without their stomachs giving a single fuck. They are gorgeous George and Goze. And this is MMA Junkie Radio.
Last night, episode 7 of season 25 of The Ultimate Fighter took place. It's called Redemption. If you want to chime in on that, we have about 10 minutes left before the show's over. Call in 866-522-2846. I'll tell you real fast. Justin Edwards defeated Joe Stevenson. Good fight. Edwards, I could see, I don't know about having an impact, but at least progressing through the season. He's got some skills. He looks tough and not too beaten up from this fight. Stevenson, I didn't want to see him take that last spot. I agreed with Cody there. He looked, especially because it's like, you're next. It wasn't even like, let's have the other ones fight and we'll put you on the tail end of the quarterfinals. He's actually next. Although they specified it was going to be a 6-week turnaround, but he looked older and slower, and he took some damage. And I don't know. Like, I see what he's saying. He's got the 4 kids at home. He's got Kingdom going. And this is his chance for redemption. I get that, but I thought Eddie Gordon was probably a better choice, or I think there was another name out there that was pretty decent. Even though Eddie got finished quick, he's got skills.
Mhm.
And
he hits hard.
I think you got to balance the redemption in each story as who could do well in the next fight, but who can also maybe just do well and
carry on.
Right, and I don't see much of a future for Stevenson other than to try 55 again. Hell, he even went down to 45. But much respect. He looked good, and he fought till the end. He was throwing everything he had at Justin Edwards. It just didn't work out. Can't blame TJ for going to bat for his guy. I mean, he's already there. He's already in the house. But if he gives his input and Cody gives his, I think Dana from a distance, he can go, hold on, I'm getting it all here. Yes, there is more of a future here. This just seems like a better decision to go in that direction. He didn't do it. He went with Stevenson and the guy from ATT. Hyder Hassan.
Hyder Hassan.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk to Dean from Georgia. What's up, Dean? How you doing?
How's it going? Just a couple of quick things. I just wanted to say thanks for an amazing weekend last week. Couple of quick points. I think Claudia, if she could finish Carolina, I think she's maybe only one fight away since Joanna didn't finish Carolina. Second, I think John Jones just trying to keep himself relevant. If he wins or loses, he's just trying to set up the next fight. And my question, I'll take off the air. If DC loses, has he done enough to deserve an immediate rematch? Thanks, and I'll take that off there. You have a safe flight to New York.
See you, bud. All right.
If he loses, an immediate rematch,
No.
but it would be with John Jones. So
Yeah, and he'd be 0-2 against John Jones.
But I like the scenario of let's just
I
pretend.
guess
it
a
was his last
split
fight.
decision.
Nah.
A split decision. The crowd's walking out going, DC won it, Maybe. I mean, they do pounce on big money fights, even though it's 0-2. If it's a split, these guys hate each other, maybe. But I would say it all depends on the Manawa outcome. I really think Manawa DC is a fight to make at some point, regardless.
But let's say it was Manawa. Let's say it was Manawa DC.
But he wants a yes or no, I'll go with no.
Yeah, that's a big no. But let's just say it was Manawa DC, and Manawa beat DC. Has he done enough to deserve an immediate rematch? I would say yeah. George.
Who'd he beat? He beat Johnson and who else? Who'd he beat? Johnson and who else?
You talking
Alex?
about I mean,
those are only 2, right?
Silva, but I don't know if you count that.
Silva. Oh yeah, you don't count that. So I mean, it's not the longest reign, but big names for sure. Could be if how competitive they were. A lot of it has to do with, was it a competitive fight? How long the reign was? Does it disturb the rest of the division? There really isn't anything wrong with saying, man, just go grab a win, and then let's do this again. I understand there's a risk. They could lose, but yeah, a lot of fighters, the clock's ticking. A lot of them are playing the business game, and we wanted them to be sharper. We wanted more money to be out there, but that's what happens too. That's the flip side. Before it was like, I can't do anything, man. I'm making 40 and 40. I'm gonna make 42 and 42, and that's it. They were handcuffed. But we got a lot more of what we wanted. But I'd rather have it this way. These guys deserve it, guys and gals. So good question, Dean.
Let's do a little MMA history.
Let's do it.
Danny, you got today's MMA history? I think I sent it to you a little late, but
I just got it. Yeah, I did. So this is kind of fitting, actually. So June 1st, 2008, 9 years ago today. Can you guess why? Before I read it, can you guess why I think it's fitting?
Say it one more time.
June 1st, 2008. So 9 years ago today. And I said it's fitting because of something that's coming up this week.
So it's something Aldo Holloway-esque? Oof, I don't know. You'll just have to tell me, but unless Goze wants to guess.
I just know it has to do with Jose, right?
Oh, wait. It could be... Oh, apparently we're warm?
Yeah, very warm.
Maybe Jose's first fight ever?
In the WC?
It is.
First fight ever, or
21.
the WC or the
Oh,
UFC?
we kind of ruined that, didn't we?
In the WEC. 21-year-old Jose Aldo made his WEC debut and defeated Nogueira by TKO.
What was Nogueira's first name?
I don't know.
The info's not given to you?
It is given to me, but I can't pronounce it.
Try it.
And I'm horrible at pronunciation.
Just try it.
Alexandra.
That wasn't that tough. Alexander Nogueira?
Yes.
All right. Any others?
Can you imagine Danny at a mixer? Oh, hey, it's nice to meet you, fella.
Yeah. And now let's bring in the couple. Jenny Andrade, and she just got married to Nogueira. Anything else, Danny?
It said the rest of it just says it was in the WEC where Aldo solidified himself as one of the best fighters in the world. He went a perfect 8-0 with the promotion and became WEC featherweight champion.
Got it. All right. Thank you to at MMA History Today. Here's an iTunes review. Classic 5 stars by no, except it alternates O's and zeros. May 29, 2017. Consistent, honest, interesting coverage of MMA. Those boys wrote the book. And so these are iTunes reviews that you can list. You can leave us. You can rate us 1 to 5 stars. We'll read them all. And I'm jumping around here. I think this one, maybe sound quality 3 stars, May 5th, May 11th by DJ Blevy.
Well,
Why is the sound so low compared to other podcasts? I have to crank my radio up. And then someone like Marco calls in and screams, which makes me cringe. Didn't he read that before? Did I read that before?
I don't think so, no.
All right. Danny and Goze, can you explain? Or
I don't really know.
I don't know either.
If they're listening in their car, it should sound fine.
Yeah. I've never heard that complaint, or I haven't in a while. So, but thank you, DJ. I mean, I guess we can give it a boost or something. Junkie Nation from Desru, May 3rd, 2017. This is the most fan-friendly MMA show on the planet. Hosts George and Goze have so much knowledge on the sport. They have so many connections in the game. They have talked to so many people. You just feel like you're part of the family as soon as you start listening. I've been listening to these guys for 5 years, and they're awesome, and they're genuine. People love the show. Desru. Thank you, Desru. Thank you, DJ Blevy. And thank you to No for leaving us reviews. Again, these are iTunes reviews, and we read them all the time. If you leave us less than 5 stars, tell us what we're doing wrong. We'd love to earn these future stars from you.
I was just going to say, a perfect example is that Daniel Cormier led a bunch of Junkie Nation in to see a personal workout right before his last fight.
I heard that.
It is a family.
I heard that for sure. Tomorrow, Johnny Hendricks and Brendan Schaub will join us here on MMA Junkie Radio. I'll be in New York, and I'll be calling in with Danny. And if you want to hang out and have a pint, I'll be at the Smithfield Hall at 4 p.m. And the address there is, do I have time to give it out? I think I do. Said it before. I'll say it again. It is the following. 138 West 25th Street, New York, New York. 10001. There you go. We're out of here, folks. For Danny Goze and George, be champions.
You'll never be the same again.